This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for May 25, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, bar owner arrested following illegal firearms seizure in St. Elizabeth. A 27-year-old St. Elizabeth man has been arrested following the seizure of an illegal firearm during a traffic stop in the parish on Tuesday. Head of the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Kenneth Chin, told the news that the man, who is from Santa Cruz, is a bar owner. Chin said the seizure was made about 1 p.m. when a police team was carrying out a vehicle checkpoint operation on the Oxford Main Road in search of illegal firearms and wanted people. During the operation, a white Toyota Corolla was stopped and searched, and a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 8 rounds was found. A 27-year-old bar operator from Santa Cruz was arrested in connection with the find, said Chin. I thank the teams who are making the best use of the limited resources in maintaining the operational outputs which are reaping success. The parish is safer because of your effective police presence. I must also highlight the police-citizen relationship in the parish, which has resulted in several successes, to include a 200% increase in the number of illegal firearms taken out of the hands of criminals when compared to last year. Police inspector dies while on vacation in U.S. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is now in mourning following the death of one of its inspectors on Wednesday. The news understands that Inspector Franklin Hunter passed whilst on vacation leave in the United States. Hunter was assigned to the Mount Salem Police Station and the Zone 3 in St. James. The circumstances surrounding his death was not made public. However, the JCF said it stands together with his family and the members of Mount Salem Police Station and the Zone 3. Opposition leader repeats a call for impeachment legislation for calling for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to revise the performance evaluation mechanism for members of Parliament, saying as it lacks key elements that will make it more effective. Speaking at a press conference on Wednesday, Mr. Golden argued that while the party is not objecting to the measures announced by Mr. Holness on Monday, he feels that some critical mechanisms, including the tabling of the impeachment legislation, have been overlooked. Mr. Golden said he tabled the impeachment legislation as a constitutional amendment in Parliament 2 years ago, but he claimed it was essentially blocked by the government.
I'm calling on the government again to refer it to a joint select committee so that the wider society can play a role in finalizing that legislation, and then it can be passed into law so that parliamentarians who behave in a manner which is offensive and inconsistent with the status and requirements of their office can be held accountable for that. These are mechanisms which exist elsewhere and which would help to ensure accountability for performance of political representatives.
Mr. Golden said the PNP would also be interested in the development of recall legislation that would allow the constituents to petition for the recall of a member of Parliament. The PNP leader argued that the petition would trigger a process that could result in an MP demitting office prior to the next general election. These are mechanisms which exist elsewhere and which would help to ensure accountability for political representatives, he suggested. Convicted former NCB manager ordered to repay almost $120 million. Andrea Gordon, the former senior manager at the National Commercial Bank, who was convicted of swindling $34 million from the financial institution and was sentenced to 7.5 years in 2021, has been ordered to repay close to $120 million. The order was made against Ms. Gordon yesterday in the Supreme Court under the Proceeds of Crime Act, based on an assessment done by investigators on what was presented in court. Criminal benefits amounted to under $200 million. But Gordon, through her attorney, admitted to raking in $119.1 million through her illegal activities. She was also ordered to pay $720,000. Gordon's house will be placed on the market. Proceeds from the sale will go to NCB. She has also been ordered to pay the legal cost for the bank and the Crown. The Financial Investigation Division filed a forfeiture and a pecuniary penalty order in 2021. The money was stolen between January 1, 2017 and May 30, 2020. Various measures available to dock parliamentarians for absenteeism, says Morgan. Robert Morgan, Minister with responsibility for information, says various mechanisms will be used to dock the salaries of members of Parliament for absenteeism. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Monday announced that MPs would be fined for unexplained absences from parliamentary sittings as well as meetings of select committees to which they have been assigned. Mr. Morgan says the Prime Minister has the latitude to meet with the parliamentary group to institute the fine.
Can do a statutory action where you pass a law to do it, but there are also voluntary actions that you can do as a political organization. For example, if I'm late for cabinet, it's an accepted practice in cabinet that if I'm late, cabinet starts at 10 o'clock. If I have 5 minutes grace, if I come at 10:06, then I have to pay a fine, which will be donated to charity at the end of the parliamentary year. That's a voluntary thing that every cabinet minister agreed to at the beginning in order to hold us accountable. Similarly, in Parliament, the party to which the Prime Minister is lead and the government, Prime Minister can say to his caucus, we're going to have an agreement that if you are absent from Parliament for an unreasonable reason, you will pay a fine. That is not a difficult thing to do, and it has been done before.
Brief parliamentary sitting to table SOE regulations. The tabling of resolutions governing the state of public emergency, which are now in effect in St. James, Hanover and Clarendon, was the main matter dealt with during the 15-minute sitting of the House of Representatives on Wednesday. They are the Emergency Powers Parishes of St. James and Hanover Regulations 2023 and the Emergency Powers Parish of Clarendon Regulations 2023. Last week, Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared a 14-day SOE for those parishes in response to a significant increase in criminal activities. The Emergency Powers Act sets out that regulations are to be laid before the Senate and the House of Representatives as soon as possible after they are made and remain in place for no more than 7 days from that time unless a resolution is passed by the Senate or the House of Representatives providing for a continuation. At least 20 members of Parliament were present at the very brief sitting, which saw Speaker of the House of Representatives Marissa Dalrymple Philibert railing off the agenda items. At the public business segment, Leader of Government Business Edmund Bartlett rose to thank the parliamentarians who showed up for the single agenda item. Sometimes the exigencies of our job and the public does not understand the legal requirements to be here and to ensure that the business of the House is carried through, whether it is over an extended period or it is in fact a short period as it is today, he said. I want to thank members for breaking from a hard day's work yesterday, Labor Day, as I know we have done yeoman work in our constituencies, and to be here today to ensure that the business of the people is carried out irrespective of the difficulty that it might endure, he said. When next the House meets on Tuesday, May 30, it is expected that the sectorial debate will continue with contributions from Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie, Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, and the St. Mary's Central Member of Parliament, Dr. Maurice Guy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.